You know what raises an eyebrow when you think about it? Eurovision nations that has competed the fewest times. Yes, it may not be a well-known fact, but when you actually have a competition that's been going on since 1956 and it's gone over for 60 years, there tend to be some nations that has been longer than others. So yeah, in today's video, now that Eurovision is right around the corner, I'm going to list the Eurovision nations that has competed the least number of times. And when I'm talking about the least number of times, I'm talking about nations that has competed 10 times or less. So without any further ado, let's do this. And so we're starting out from alphabetical order, and unfortunately one of the countries that competed the least amount of times is Andorra. They made a debut in 2004 and they competed in between 2004 to 2009, and they decided to withdraw in 2010. It's unfortunately one of the saddest Eurovision nations, considering the fact that they have never reached a grand final. They have never really competed in it, not even in a Saturday. They have only been competing in qualification rounds during Tuesdays or Thursdays, and not actually on Saturdays. This makes Andorra one of the Eurovision nations that has never qualified for the grand final. Alright, so the next nation is going to be Australia. They made a debut in 2015 and they were going to send a 6th entry in 2020. But due to the cancellation of the contest, they had to withdraw that entry, which means that they're now going to enter their fifth one. And so the next country is the Czech Republic. They debuted in 2007, sent 3 entries in the span of 3 years, but then withdrawn in 2010 and didn't return until 2015, where they have been competing in Eurovision ever since. And now let's talk about a little unknown fact. This is a country that most people don't really know has taken part, and quite honestly, if you do not know or remember, that's okay. This country has only competed once, and that was Morocco. They debuted in 1980 and withdrew the year after because Israel withdrew, which meant that Morocco was allowed to take part. But like I said, they have only competed once and haven't returned to the competition ever since. Honestly, it just seems to stretch to let them take part, considering they're really far away from Europe. But oh well, things that does change and things that does happen. We just have to deal with it. Alright, let's move on to San Marino. They have competed a total of 10 times, which makes them barely put them on this list. They debuted in 2008 and they made it into last place that year. And then they returned in 2011 and has been competing every year since. And now let's talk about a country that will never ever take part in this competition again. That being Serbia and Montenegro. They competed in 2004 and 2005. And those two nations was naturally split into Montenegro and Serbia. Unfortunately, Montenegro has decided to withdraw from the contest due to poor positions. And now we are going to talk about another Eurovision nation that has never really been able to qualify. However, unlike Andorra, this country is actually taking part in grand finals. And that one being Slovakia. It is one of those countries that was created after the fall of the Soviet Union in the very late 80s. They made a debut in 1994 and competed in between 1994 to 1998. The best position was an 18th place back in 1996. They did try to take part once again in 2009. However, after a few failed attempts, they decided to withdraw after 2012, and they have not returned since then. And now, throughout their history, they have competed a total of 7 times. So yeah, that was all of the nations that has competed 10 times or less. It's actually sort of interesting how many nations has actually been taking part more than 10 times. But it just comes to show that some countries just aren't interested enough to actually take part in this competition. And like I said at the beginning, given that there's over been 60 years, there's naturally some nations that will compete fewer times than others. So yeah, that was this Eurovision video, and so yeah, that was this Eurovision video. I might do some more in the future, but we'll see that's end up happening. Alright guys, see you later. Bye.